Okay, so I'm going to go live this morning. It is 6 a.m. here where I'm at, and I thought it might be an easy way for me to show you some of the things that I do to make videos. Sorry that the audio and video quality is probably not great. I'm just using my MacBook Air here with a built-in camera and mic, but I think you'll get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I make videos every week showing me doing things around our homestead. So right here, I'm in the basement of our house, and right here, let's see, show you, is our dehydrator, and I'm making venison jerky, and so I record content for that. And this is my standard camera that I use. It's the Ace 360 Pro. It's like a GoPro. um, and one of the things that I use is this. It's a neck camera. If I can remember how to do it. Goes around here like this, and it gives you a little different angle. It's a little bit annoying if you don't think about it too much, but then you kind of got your hands free. And so I'm going to record a clip that I'm using for probably next week's video, and just want to show you kind of how it works, in case this is something you might be interested in. With all my, so I have two of these Ace 360s, and then the standard thing I have here is this. It's a quick adapter, and then it's got a locking thing on it. It's not super cheap. Each one of these is like $30 or something, but it works really nice because you can just, sure, make it look more difficult. Let's see, which side is it going? There. Okay. Locks in. I don't have to worry about it falling out or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think it's set up. Let's see here. Yep, that's what I want. So, so I'm going to go ahead and hit record. You'll see the red blinking light shows that it's on. And what I have to do now is I have to take all the jerky out of the dehydrator from the batch I did last night. And then I'm going to do another batch here. So if you happen to run across the stream, say hi in the chat for me. But this is the length of the jerky, and I usually just break it in half. So I've kind of got it dialed in pretty good. So we grind our venison and season it, and then we use a big, it's called the jerky gun. It's like a big caulk gun, and I'll show you how I use that too. Just put all that in there. All right, that's one thing. I'll put that back in here for now. I don't know. It's a little bit. It's a lot for my brain this early in the morning to keep track of two cameras, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. All right. If you have any questions about camera, my setup, the jerky recipe, whatever you want, let me know. Do that. And when I make the actual video for my YouTube channel, I'm probably only going to use just a few seconds of this footage. But that's kind of what you have to do if you want to have a decent video that people are watching. They're not going to sit and watch me package jerky for 15 minutes, but they might watch for 2 seconds. Just the way it is. bought half the dehydrator. It usually makes, one batch makes 2 of these bags, a couple pounds maybe. So then I'll do another one here. Okay. So the video editing, I've been searching for a way to kind of outsource my video editing. I've not figured out how to do that yet. It's maybe eventually. So the channel where I record is called Homesteading Lawyer. If you want to check that out, just search Homesteading Lawyer. And it's where I post a long-form video once a week on things like cutting firewood and processing deer, splitting wood, driving tractor, stuff like that. And that channel's growing pretty good. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check that out. I try not to make too long of videos. I try to keep them for sure under 30 minutes. Usually they're more like 12 to 18 minutes. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers, a lot of views. I'm still struggling to get people to click through the videos and watch more of it, which is kind of important to get that watch hours if you want to monetize that channel and all. So I'm still learning that part of it, but I've figured out how to make videos that people want to click on and see. So yeah, and I do pretty much all of that with these cameras. I got tripods, I got a head cam, clips on my hat. Otherwise, so yeah, so that's all of the, I get 2 bags of this, and then I'll use a mark on here which batch it was, and then I like to keep them in the freezer just to keep them fresher. So now I have to make up a new batch here. So I'll stop this video, and I'm gonna go get that. Oh yeah. Oh boy. So you probably can't see this, but let me see. This is my container full of venison. This is the gun that you use to squirt it out. So I'll adjust this camera here a little bit, maybe. And then I'll go ahead and reset that. So let's see. I think there's a little meat in here yet, so I'm gonna do this. One of the challenges I have for making videos around here is, we have a smaller house. We have a ton of kids, and sometimes it's kind of a mess. This is kind of a decent view. The floor around me is kind of a disaster, but that's because we're in the process of building a new shop, and that's basically done now. Just got to get the doors on it, and then a lot of this stuff is going to come out of here. This will be more of a gym. Okay, so what I'm doing for the video now is showing how I, oops, oopsie. Okay, I need the plunger. So you might want to close your eyes if you're a little squeamish around meat, raw meat. There's not a lot of blood here, but so this was 2 deer. My 12-year-old son had a pretty successful year. He got a small doe on opening day. Small doe is code word for fawn, but without spots. And but he made a really nice shot on her. I got that on video. So I carry these cameras when I go deer hunting, which is fun to capture those moments with your kids. And then he got a big doe, a big old mature doe. It had no teeth left. She probably that's how old she was. Got her on like the Friday after Thanksgiving, and so we kept out the back straps, the loins, and then the rest of it is going into venison jerky, which is super. We have a lot of beef in the freezer, so I don't really need the meat. And venison makes a great jerky, very healthy. So now I just squirt it out here. Make sure you can see with the camera. Oopsie, get the air out of the line. I'm not gonna finish this tray, am I? All right. And I won't record the whole process. I'll probably make sure I got some good clips showing me filling the stuffer, rolling it out on the trays. Basically, you just squeeze it out into trays, and then the trays go in the dehydrator. I'll make sure I got shots of that, and then I'll probably turn the camera off. Let's see. And then, like, I've got other footage, obviously, from, like, not so much cutting up the deer, although I have footage of that, but, like, going through the grinder, adding the seasoning, and I use these cameras, but typically with tripods or magnets, I stick them around. I don't have the best of lighting where I'm typically recording, but I don't know that it matters that much. I think it's really easy to get a little paranoid about the details, and then you never start. Which is one of the reasons I like the live streaming, is it just forces you to just grip it and rip it like I'm doing now. So, as far as the talking in here, obviously the camera on my neck is recording the audio, and I just turn off the audio, and I'll probably have some music, light music playing in the background. That's how I handle that. So fill this back up. I dropped it. That's the one thing when you're trying to do it in a way that, you can actually see on camera. It can be a little awkward. That's kind of what you do. I think I overfilled it. Struggling here. Struggle. You could go in there. There we go. This thing is a real pain to wash, so I tend to just stick it in the fridge between uses. It'll take probably 4 batches to at least do this whole 2 deer or whatever I got here. Even though the one is pretty small, still, it's a fair amount of meat. Good. Okay, so then stick that in there. Get a clip of me putting it in the dehydrator here. Yeah. And I just kind of rinse and repeat. So I got enough footage of that. I'll probably go ahead and turn this camera off and get it off my neck for now. I can do it without. And I'll just get that up out of the way. I'll just let you guys run. I'll kind of talk about some things while I do this. So, I like to use the action style cameras for recording this kind of stuff. I find it very difficult to use like a cell phone. Getting it positioned right, and sometimes I'm doing it in damp places or whatever, and I want a really secure spot. And so these action cameras, GoPro type cameras, really kind of lock into place nice. And so I tend to use them, and they're waterproof. So then it's like, okay, so what do you do with the footage then? So you got to find a video editing software. I've been using the suite that comes with it. It's a free editing app, and there's a desktop version that I use on the on my computer, and it works. It works pretty good so far. I've been making all my YouTube videos on that, but it's limited in terms of its functions and features, and I think sometimes it tends to. I see it's not. Tends to. I don't. It's just limited on features. Okay, so I'm looking at some other ones. I tried out a software. It's a Microsoft product called Clipchamp, I think. And what was attractive about Clipchamp, at least it was supposed to, I haven't found it to be true, but it has a cloud-based version, so you can upload videos to the cloud and then presumably edit from any computer with a browser, with the idea being that I could then use remote team members, VAs, whatever, do some of the work. Well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I have not figured out how to make that work, and it doesn't upload the videos right, or it crashes and stuff. So I'm probably not going to use that. I'm looking at using something more like CapCut is the one that I think is there's a lot of them. There's CapCut, Camtasia, Adobe Editor. There's all kinds of them. And you could spend all day trying to research them. So I tend to just go for simplicity, and I think I'm going to go with Camtasia. The nice thing about not Camtasia, CapCut. Nice thing about them is they tend to be prescription-based models, and so they you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for a product. You can try it for a month, and if you don't like it, go on to something else. So I think I'm going to do a month or two of that. That's what I did with the Clipchamp. It was like, well, 15, 20 bucks a month. Turned out not to be a product that's going to work for us, so I'll just cancel that and go to try CapCut. If that doesn't work, I might go to Camtasia, which I think is a more robust program, but it is it might be more than I need. I don't know. I have to see. There's a balance. I mean, you want to have features, but you don't want it to be so, I don't know, complicated to use that it's hard, that it discourages you from using it. And I don't need to pay for a bunch of features that I'm never going to use, because I don't need it to record videos like this. Like I'm doing this on live on StreamYard. Oh, this is working right. I've run a lot of jerky through this guy. I don't know. It seems like it's not working. So I'm not a big fan of editing. That's why I'm live streaming this. So I won't even probably edit this video out other than maybe the title and description. But if you're going to do more traditional YouTube videos of you out doing stuff, working out, going to the park, riding bike, all that, you have to edit videos. So you need a way to do that. And I'm not going to do it on my, there's actually decent phone apps. I think CapCut has a decent phone app, but I'm not going to use that because these are pretty big files and you got to do a lot of chopping, a lot of moving. And so you got to have more of a regular program for video editing. So that's what I'm looking at. I'll let you know what I think of it. So for people that want to start a YouTube channel, I'm a huge fan of just doing live streams. So I started doing live streams on my attorney channel, my day job channel, a couple days ago. I've been putting out quite a bit of content on that anyway, but I'm doing a weekly live stream. Let's move this over here. Doing a daily live stream, actually, probably 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. And I just grip it and rip it. Usually have a rough outline. It's still new, so I don't have, and it's probably never a channel that a bunch of people are going to come up on and want to watch regularly. But for someone that wants to chat live with an attorney and just bounce some questions off, it'd be a perfect opportunity. I haven't really seen any other lawyers out there doing that. Mostly, I think, because lawyers are paranoid about the ethical implications of live streaming and giving quote unquote legal advice. Now I have disclaimers on it that this is not legal advice, but those are only so effective. But and you have to be careful who you're talking to. You got to make sure that they don't happen to be opposing parties of one of your cases or one of your partner's cases and things like that. So there's challenges with live streaming that I think discourages most attorneys and maybe should discourage me, but I'm going to give it a try because I think it could be a huge marketing opportunity, and it's a really easy way to make content. That's the biggest thing. Is most of us start a YouTube channel or a podcast, make a bunch of content, and then we stop using it. We just give up. This kind of forces you to keep making content, regular content. So anyway, so I'm going to keep working at this here. I can feel the gears or whatever slipping on this gun, which makes me think it's not long for this world. I don't know. Something's not set up right. Just want to try and get through this batch here. Probably not made for the kind of volume of jerky I make. So, and even this live stream. So this live stream, there's no webcam. I have like a nice mic I could throw on, but I just grabbed the computer and went live. You can really overthink things. I think it's that analysis paralysis that gets people. They worried about that, worried about the background. I'm worried about it, but this hides the worst parts of the room. There, she popped off. I think it broke. That's not ideal. I think it finally broke. Did it? Maybe not. It just spins out. I don't know how to fix that. Sorry, you came here for video editing, but you're ending up with... maybe I'll finally get it. I don't think these things are made for steady use. So anyway, so what I like about live streaming is it forces you to get past the editing stuff. Because I make a lot of videos and then I never get around to editing them or updating it because it takes time. I mean, you want to get a title, you want to do a thumbnail, you want to do description, tags, and stuff like that. And so you can really quickly get bogged down in details. That for the most part, I mean, the channels that I have that have done well, I really don't do much editing. And live streaming, I think, just forces you to be authentic and real and talk on your feet. Okay, maybe I got it. We'll see. So I do like live streaming, and I think it's it takes a little time, but once you get an audience, so I have a YouTube channel and podcast. It has over 500 subscribers, and so I don't live stream every week on that, but I try to live stream regularly, and you'll get it depends. Sometimes you might get 10, sometimes you might get 30 or 40 people filter in and out of the chat. We have kind of a core base of very devoted followers that are always there. And what's really cool about live streaming, especially if you use a program like StreamYard, like I do, you can live stream to YouTube like I'm doing right now. You can also live stream simultaneously to a Facebook page, Twitter, I think Instagram, although I've never been able to get Instagram to work with my StreamYard. What else? Those are the big ones. I think there's other ones, Twitch and stuff like that I don't use, but so you can, your video shows up in all of those feeds, and then if people comment, it shows up in the full feed, and you can pull them up on the screen and interact with people, which is really cool. Oh, that's working much better. So that's what if you're thinking of doing more of a podcast, I would seriously consider making the podcast sort of a promotional tool or alternative consuming option for a YouTube channel, as opposed to making I think podcasts, for the most part, are a thing of the past. The traditional model of podcasting, I think people need to let go of that, because they came out at a time where we didn't have YouTube. You couldn't live stream like this, and so it was a way for you to record stuff, and you did audio because video files are too big. People weren't watching things on their phone like they do now. And so it's really hard to grow a podcast audience, I think, a traditional audio podcast audience. And my observation has been that a lot of people that go to an audio podcast do so because they're afraid of being on camera, and which I get it, it's natural. But if you're serious about it, you're going to have to get over that. And live streaming is a really good way to do that, is to get past that fear of the camera. And people in sort of the post mainstream media, if you will, era that I think we're in, people really crave humanness and authenticity and just vulnerability more than they care about having everything be done perfectly and edited, which, don't get me wrong, you don't want to be sloppy about it, but you can be pretty simple like this. Nothing fancy about what I'm doing now. Probably the only thing that I have that a lot of people don't have is I don't have a ton of camera fright. My occupation requires me to talk in front of people and I do scary things sometimes, but I think anyone can do this. You can develop the skill. It's mostly about being passionate about what you want to talk about. So here it is. It's 6 a.m. Well, it's now 6:30 a.m. And I am doing a live stream that no one's even watching right now because I am really passionate about content, especially YouTube. I'm convinced that YouTube is the way to go, and that the other social media platforms, which I like to use, should be there to promote and encourage people to follow your YouTube channel rather than being content hubs themselves. All right, so but getting back to the cameras, which is what was the original point of this live stream. I'm a huge fan of having those kinds of cameras because they're just, I think, much easier to set up and use. I think it's very easy to grab them out and hit a button, hit record, throw them around your neck, put them on a hat holder, whatever you got to do. I have a mount on the dashboard of my car. A lot of times if I have to get in the car and drive, I'll just throw the camera up there. I don't even worry about an extra mic, which I have. Just go with the stock mic, and I'll just record a 5-minute video in the vehicle. I'm not even really looking at the camera. I'm looking ahead, but it looks like I'm looking at the camera. And then, I just record that throughout the week, and then I take all the videos off. A lot of them will go directly to YouTube. It might be a 5-minute video of me talking about making videos or whatever, and it'll go straight to YouTube. I have staff, and so I'm actually in the process of getting it so I can I bring the camera in and I bring a drive in, and they get them off the camera into a drive, or for videos like I'm doing here with the action camera, they'll put them on a drive so that I can more easily edit them rather than bogging up my computer. But for, like a 5-minute talking video done in my car, I'll just take that camera, give it to them, and they'll upload it directly to YouTube, unlist it, and then I have them trained to trim off the beginning and end. So I usually have an intro. I tell them what the video is going to be about and which channel it goes to. So they'll trim that off within the YouTube editor. And then usually there's a second or two of me reach around and turn the camera off at the end of the video. They'll cut that off. And then, then I'll come in, or sometimes if I want, I'll run that video through an AI processing software, which will do transcripts, summaries, titles, things like that. And we'll add that to the YouTube video and then publish or schedule for publishing. So that's for that, I find it very much easier to make short walk and talk videos or driving videos with an action camera versus your cell phone. They're small. The cell phone's kind of big. These sit right on the dash. They're not really obstructing your view at all. So that's how I tend to do a lot of my videos in that respect. So they're pretty versatile. They're better suited for, they're obviously designed primarily for bikers and snowboarders, and motorcyclists, and people out in the water, which is cool, but you can use them for more than that. I took my camera. I only had one at the time. Took it with me to California, and I had 2 memories, micro SD cards, and recorded our whole family vacation this year. And it was, I don't know, I feel less awkward carrying around the camera. You could be kind of more discreet about it than holding your cell phone out. And I think other people are less, you don't feel as awkward around someone with a camera like that. So I like that aspect of it. I don't really post stuff of people like without their consent, so to speak. So it's more, if someone passes through my shot, they're not, I'm not secretly recording them, but they end up in my shot. And so I try to avoid faces and stuff like that if I can, but that's where the action cameras, I think, are really nice for that kind of stuff. The advantage to doing it on your phone, and I'm doing a lot of stuff on my phone too, because I have a separate phone just for marketing and stuff like that, is the nice thing about that is you got the video there. You can directly upload it to YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, and it cuts some steps out of the process. It's a really good camera. Like a modern iPhone has a super good camera, a better camera probably than my action cameras, especially at distances. So I do that, but I think it's nice to have a variety of options. If you're going to do a video, if it's going to be like a 1-minute reel or short, then I'm more likely to just grab the phone and edit it and throw it up. But if it's longer than that, I tend to just reach for the action camera and put it up that way. Okay, well, let's do it. Almost done here. I should be able to finish this in one more load, which would be great. All right. You can put a lot of I put a lot of meat in this big dehydrator here. It's a big Cabela's model. He could put about at least 10 pounds worth of raw meat into it in a batch, and still have plenty of space around it. You're not overpacking it. And then it takes about I've got it dialed in to about 8 hours. It probably will do it at 7 hours, but I like to make sure it's all dry, especially with venison. So we'll run it for 8 hours. So this batch will run today, and then I'll take it off this evening and run the final batch through, and then I'll wash everything up. That's the worst part about it, is this is a real fun thing to clean up, and so I try not to. I should probably wash it up between uses, but I just throw it in the container of meat, and then I put it in the fridge. Keeps it cool. Okay, let's see here. All right, here we go. So, yeah. So what I do with my videos is I'll make a long form video, either like on my homesteading channel or on my various podcasts and talking channels like this, and I run them through the more conventional YouTube channel. I just take a 15 to 30 second clip every morning. I usually just make a short, upload it with my phone app, upload a short, relate it back to the original video, which is really cool. So people, they find your short, they can click on the long form video very easily. And then more of the talking videos I run through a program called Opus Pro. I'm a huge fan of Opus, and it just uses AI technology to break it down into segments, which you can then adjust and edit, and it's very good. And then you can actually directly post from Opus to most of your social medias: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But that Opus only works for talking videos. It doesn't work for like more action style videos. Oh, I suppose I should put the camera back on here. So here's a little inside baseball here. So I'll just record me putting the last tray in, and I'll try not to get too much meat on my camera. I'll get this kind of shot for the video. So turn on. So I'll show it here. Try to lean up so you can see. And then I'll okay, so let's get time. 8 hours, temperature. Oh, yeah, 160 degrees for 8 hours. Okay. So it's usually a whole bunch of little clips and stuff I'll do on here. Yeah, try and get it off without too much grossness on the tools. But yeah, that's another reason I like the action cameras. I'm not afraid to wash them up and stuff the way I am with my phone. So that's a batch. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator. So yeah. So anyway, how long did it go? That's 45 minutes. Maybe no one ever watches this video, um, but I didn't have to do anything special. I just recorded you. I recorded doing what I was already doing anyway. And so maybe consider this as an option. The other thing I really like about the StreamYard is I can actually connect it to my phone and I can go around with my phone if I want a little more flexibility in terms of live streaming in. So if you're interested in the live streaming stuff, follow my channel. I'll be doing more on that. But otherwise, I'm going to end this video. Appreciate anyone who ends up watching. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or subscribe to the channel. And my link tree should be somewhere on the site or in the description here, and you can get a hold of me if you have questions about any of the stuff that I talked about. So appreciate you watching, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.